Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back once again. Welcome to my students for King Faisal University, College of Computer Sciences and Information Technology. We're here again to continue with our lecture. This is the Android web app connectivity part 3 of 3. Here we will just, sorry, I need to make a correction here. This is the last part where we will go to further login activity through the Android application. So you are welcome here, and please keep remember the previous lecture, and we will continue from the same. We're just going ahead. The initial few slides are the recap because it is the extension of the previous lecture. That's why we're going to just recap for the previous slides so that you can understand the concept. So these are the recap slides, and if you just read through this slide, so you will find out that actually what we covered. So in our first part we covered the first two things, which is the configuration of the MyphpAmdin server, and in the second part, in the first part again we also test the connectivity and the insertion of data and to retrieve the data using the PHP scripts. For the second part, we just go through with the extension for the same example exercise, and we just go for the Android for the registration through the Android application. Now in the part 3, we're going to use the same Android application, and we will go to retrieve the data for using the login activity. So continuing again from here, this is again for the recap. So you can find out that the recap is written here. It means this is the same concept. That's what we need to just only recap because it is linked with the previous one. So again we will use the same database here, which is the MyphpAmdin DB, and the same table user info, and this is the table instructions. So again this is the recap side, and again we will use the same scripts. So you can find from here that it is in the www directory where we make the web app directory, and inside there are the 3 different PHP scripts. They are like, the first one script is the init.php, the second one is the register.php, and the third one is about the login.php. So the init is actually for opening a connection, establishing a connection with the database, and the second script is actually to we will use to insert data, and the third one script is we will use for our today's third part, which is to retrieve the data from the database. Now again you need to make sure this is again the same recap slide, that before you run your application or you just go for this part also, you need to confirm that your web server is running and with all services on with the green color. So from here, this is the part 3, which is the user login or retrieving data from MySQL using the Android app is here. This is again you will see this is with the part 3, but we will use the interface of the Android application. We will register the user, and then we will log in with the same user information, and the data will be stored in MySQL. We will use the web server as we used for our previous both of the examples. If we focus now on this, so you may notice that what is the difference here with the previous one. The difference here is that actually now for today's example we are concerned for the login that we will do our coding with the main activity, and we will again do the more activity with the background task. Refer to the previous lecture, and as we already disclosed this information, that this is the same an extension to the part 2. So you might notice here that we just found here, we just show with the arrow, and there are the background task and the main activity class. While for the register, we just highlight this one, that there for this part we don't need to write anything, we don't need to deal anything with the register class. So just go ahead and see what could be the difference for the layout. So the layout is again the same. This is the same layout. That's what we discussed in the previous lecture. We will use the same layout. So just go ahead. This is the layout. That's what we use in our previous example. That's why we are saying that this is the recap. So you can see this is the layout for the activity for the login, and then you can see this is the complete. You remember that we already discussed that there are the two buttons. One is the login, another one is the register, and there are the two edit text in the login, and the one is the heading, which is the login. And at the same time, for the another activity, which was the register activity, so here again there are the three edit text and the one button. The button is actually for the register, and the edit text, which are the three, which is one is for the user nickname, and then the username, and then it is the password. So this is the same thing what we discussed in our part 2. That's why we mention it as a recap. You go ahead, you can see about the remaining edit text layout XML code, and the code for XML code for the button. So the interface, user interface, and layout design is done up to this slide. Now we are going ahead about the activity main class. So as we discussed that today for the login scheme, we need to write a code with the two classes only, with the activity and within the background task class. So what we did compared to the previous one, you can find here that your code contains the comments, and your code contains the comments which are in the green color and in the different color. So in a green color, you can find that the code is actually written, the comments, they are written in different ways. So you just focus for here. You can find here that we need edit text variables and two of the string variables that will be used for the login purpose. So you can find out from the steps here that these are the steps. The login is step 01, because the activity and the background task, they contain the previous code also and the new code also. So that's why, to differentiate them, what we use the coding, we use the coding that what you require for the login. We start with the number of the steps, and we start with the with a code that the login is step 01, login is step 02, login is step, like that. So if any comment is with the login step and with some number, so it means that is actually the new part what we enter and we require for the login, and while the other code is actually that is for the previously what we have done for the registration. So just go ahead, you will find here that this is the login step number 01. So here we did the same thing what we did previously for our registration purpose. So you can find from here that we define the ET, means edit text variables, as earlier in the registration. So the same operation we done here, edit text, ET name, and ET path. This time we just go for the two variables. This is the name and the password, because we need to go for the login. And if you remember, the previously we had the three variables. And at the same time, the string variables are also two now. This is the login name, and this is the login path. While if you remember that the last time, if they had the three different variables. And here we are just doing, we're just again initializing those variables. So you can see from here that login is step 2. We will try to follow these steps. We will try to go with the comments with the number of these steps. So again, it will be more easy for you to understand, and it will be more easy to learn that what step is required when the number of the steps is required. So here we are initializing to the ET name and ET password. That's what we just declare here. And then here it is the username and the user password. So username and the user password is the same, which is actually what we are using to get the text, the values from the user through the edit text. And we will see it in a couple of minutes in the Android studio, inshallah. So just going ahead, so you just be here. So you will find here that these are the step number 2. This is step number 2 for the user login method. So the user login method is defined here. You remember that previously we did for the user registration. So this is the previous part. Now we're focusing for the user login. So in the user login, this is our step number 3. So you can see that in steps they are incremented, going to be increased, means with the time. Now what we are doing here, again this is the same thing what we did while we were doing for the registration. So here is the login name, and we are just going to assign the values from the ET, whatever the values we are getting through the edit text, whatever getting the text values and also converting to the string and assigning to the login name. And the same what we are doing here is to the login password. So sorry, you can see with the login step number 4. So now we need to create the method with the login. If you remember that last time we also created the method with the register. Now this time we need to create a method with the login, as we differentiate that what the user wants. So this is the background task. This is the same what we did like the previous register example, and now we need to execute that background task. So we need to pass the parameters. So this time we pass 3 parameters. Number 1 is the method. This is the method login, and the login name. This is the what we get the values from the user. This is the login name, and the same here login pass. This is the actually login pass. If you remember and refer to the registration process, the previous example, where we use here the 4 parameters, also the nickname of the user, because that was the registration. So here we only need the 2 parameters. So go ahead. Now this is all about we have done about the activity, what the changes we made with the activity. Now we're going to the background task.java. And if you remember that what I told you already, that in the register.java we did not mention any change for the login activity. That was only required to do the changes for the previous functionality, for the previous lecture, for the previous part 2. Here you can focus, if I hope you can see it clearly, that we mentioned here that there is a hint to follow the comments which are in the green number and highlighted. So you can see here that this is the comment which is the login step number 16. Step number 16, create an object for the alert dialog. So we need to create this, but not now. So be clever and just try to follow the login steps, so you will learn easily that how and when to follow the steps. So once we reach to the sequence order, then we will come here and we need to know that why we designed this one. And here you can notice also that these are the other comments, but they are not in a green color, and they are not started with the login step like that. So these comments, it means they are previously what we did for the registration. So please keep in mind these 2 rules, and then you will be then it will be easy for you to understand the things properly. So just going ahead, and you can see from here with this screen that we are watching here that this is the login step number 70. So just go ahead and we will come back again, and with this slide number 21, you'll never find any comment which is shown in the green. So it means these all are the functionalities what we use for the register method. So you can see from here that this is the if the method is registered and so on, we are passing URL and everything. This is the part of our for the register. So we are going ahead and we are looking for the comments where we need to find out where are these comments which we use for the login. So on this is the slide which is slide number 22. You will find that there is nothing here that we use for the login. So it means this is the whole part of the code which contain on the slide number 21 and slide number 22. This actually represent to the registration. You can see from here that this is the registration successfully. But we just added here because these slides contains the complete code as for your proper understanding. So going ahead, you will find here, now from here we need to start, because this is the step login step number 05, and you remember here that if you just notice for the previous slide, we use here the if block, and in the if block we put these functionalities for the registration purpose. So the same block you just extend, as we mentioned here, we have the if loop already we use it, so just extend it with the else if, and now we just say that if the method is equals to the login. I'm just going to take you back. Just see here, we are referring to this one. This is the if method equal to register. So we are just going to extend this one. We are just going to extend this one with the else if. So what we are going to do, that in case if the method is registered, then you need to execute this code and this code, which is the slide number 21 and slide number 22. And if it is the else if the method is the login, then we need to execute this code. Now you will be amazed to see that most of the code is almost 70% is the same what and the code and as well as the logic is the same what you use for the register. So again, be with me, please follow this login step course. This is the number 6. What we are doing here, we are getting the user information. That's what we did for the registration at the time of the registration activity also, our previous part 2. So here there is the login name and the login pass. So we are going to assign the params 1 and params 2. And then with the step number 7, we are just going to add use the try catch method, and then we are also using creating the object for the URL. If you remember that the last time, if you just allow me, we just go back. The last time we already created the link for the URL for both of them, and we didn't use, or we use only for the one. So I'm just trying to show you that one is here. So if you remember that this is the one, that's what we use for the register URL, and now today we are going to use this one, which is the login URL beside of the other one. So going back again, reach here. Now with this step we are again doing the same. You can see that we are going to create the object for the HTTP URL connection. That's what we did it in our registration part also. I will refer to the registration part as a part 2. So whenever I refer as a part 2, so you can consider that this is actually the registration part. And here is the typecasting. We are going to do the typecasting, and then we are opening the connection. Go ahead. Here we are using the same post method what we used before, and these methods are the same. We are going to use for the HTTP URL set do output true and do input true also. Previously we just used to do output true, and now we are using the input true also, because this is for the login. So we need to insert the values, means and to compare the values, and then we just get the output stream also. So output value also, sorry. So here we are declaring the output stream, and this is the object of the output stream, the same as of the previous one. And then here we need again the buffer writer. This is the same what we did the previously, and we are using the encoding method. That's the same. So for using the encoding, we are using the encoding means data, and this is the string data, and then we are using URL encoder. Encode number 1 is for the login name, and number 1 is for the login pass. So this is the 100% same way, same method, same logic. That's what we did for our registration other part 2, and we are using the encoding method here, UTF -8, and the same what we did previously. Then we are getting this value in the data, and then we are going to use the buffer writer.write the data. Then we are just going to flush it, close it, and also closing the output stream. So this is the same. The rest of the process is the same. You will find a little bit different. You will see it in the upcoming slides. We are just coming back again, sorry. So you just again follow the steps. So you are following the step. This is step number 8. This is 7. This is 8. This is 9 and 10 and 11. So this is going on. If you just follow the steps, you will be knowing that what we are doing, when we are required to do what. So now you reach here with the step number 12, and you can see that here is the input stream. That's what we used previously also. And again, this is the buffer reader. Last time we didn't use the buffer reader, but this time we need the buffer reader, because we need to read from the database and compare the values, and we get the information. This is for the retrieval method, so that's why we need the buffer reader also. And for the encryption code for the buffer reader is, please remember that this is the ISO-8859-1. Now we are just going to get the response back. So once we get the response back while we're after reading, so we need to create the one string variable, which is the response, and here we apply the loop. So we are just applying the loop, and as we can get the response back, reading line by line. Reading by line. So what we are doing here, we just apply a loop, and here we are getting the response. This is the increment of the line, and then with the step number 4, we are going to close the following all and disconnect also the HTTP URL connection, because we go through the database and we apply this encoding method, and we just read from the database and we get the information back. So now we need to close this one. We close the buffer reader dot close also close into the stream, also disconnect the URL connection. That's what we done. And in the response, we need to return the response, and what response we get is here. So we're just getting back the response from here, and this is the using the try catch method. So please allow me to go to the another slide. This is now, you can find that this is the code which is for the previous one, so we are not interested for this one. Now with the step number 15, we actually you remember that once we got the response, so the previous in the method 2, we need to display the users about that the registration is done successfully through using the toast method. So this is the toast method, and this we use in the post execute, on post execute. So now we done everything here also, so we need to inform to the user. So what we have to do, we have already the means this toast method, so we just created the if block and if and else here. So we are saying that if the result dot equal to the registration successfully, means if it is a registration process, then this toast will be displayed. That's what we already declared. And in else case, it means that is the case for the login. The case for the login, we need to inform to the user through the alert dialog. So you find here that this is the step number 15, and after step number login step number 15, you are watching here the step number 18 and 19, because 16 and 17 is missing. So 16 and 17 is missing. Why? Just go back and see that where it is and why it is there. You can find that this is the step number 17, but we need to see about the step number 16. So this is the step number 16 is here. The step number 16 is here. What we are going to do here, we are creating an object for the alert dialog. So you are just creating the alert dialog object here, and then you are coming to the step number 17, which is on the pre-execute method. So you are just going to do what, initializing the alert dialog, what you just created, pass the context and suggest some title for the creating dialog. So here we are just going to set the title, which is the login information. So this will be displayed for the user. So now this is the step number 17. I intentionally put these steps as you can understand easily that how they are linked with each other and what you need to write first and then what you need to go for the second after that. So just going back to our same position. So now you can see that after 17, this is the 18 and the 19. So what we are going to do, we are passing the results. So you can see the alert dialog dot set message the result, that whatever the result we get, and then in step number 19 we are showing the alert dialog to show. So whatever the result we get, we're just trying to show to the user. Just go ahead. You remember that the last time, that's what you required to get the permissions, to give the permissions. So for that you need to set the permissions, internet permissions in the Android manifest file. So this is the same. You don't need to go and again set this permission. This was just only the recap for you. Now when we reach there at this alert dialog, so it means we have done with our code part with the Android, and now we just need to check about our scripts. So we need to go back to our web app folder as we did in our part 2, and then we need to see that what kind of changes maybe we require. So these changes are here. If you just follow with me, so you will find that this is the init.php. This file does not require, no change required at this stage. I mean no change required at this stage, it means that this will be same as of the part number 2. That's what we did at the part 2 for the registration. So we don't need to make any changes in this script file. Just go ahead and you will find here. Another one is the register.php. So you can find again the note here that no change is required at this stage. So refer back to my previous comment that no change is required with respect to the part 2, because in the part 2 whatever we done for the register process, so what the changes we made at that time, these are the changes they are made at that time, and they will remain same. We don't need to make any changes, because if you remember that we did not did anything, we did not change any part of the code in the register class also. So this will remain same. Init.php will remain same. Register .php will remain same. Only you are required to make the changes which is in the login.php. So please allow me to, yeah, this is yeah, this required the change only, so we need to make it correct. Yes, and it's good to make it safe now. So this only required a change. So here you can see that what are the changes in the login.php compared to the previous one. So here is the username and here is the user pass, because we used the post method. So this is for the login name, this is for the login pass. These are the values what we are getting from the edit text. So this is the edit text ID and this is the edit text ID, whatever the values we are getting from there. And then we are running the query, which is the select name from the, this is the name of the table, and then we are going to compare the username and the password. Like username is like the username and the password is like the user pass. Then we are just trying to get the result, creating a variable, assigning giving name as a result, and then we are just going to apply MySQL query and passing the two parameters, which is the connection and SQL query. This is the query and opening the connection. And now we are saying that if the result is coming which is the greater than the 0, then what we have to do, then we are just trying to fetch associating the results, and we are just going to display the name of the user. This name will return here with this variable. So then we are just passing the message as a login successful, and after that welcome, and this is the username. So this will go to the username, whatever user nickname. Please remember that this will be the user nickname. So we will welcome to the user nickname, and in an else case we are just saying that the user is failure, login is failure, and there are no details available for the user. So alhamdulillah, this is done all about today, which is the login part, which is the third part. And now I hope that my students will be feeling more comfortable because both of the things are using the same logics, and they are using almost the same type of the code, so nothing is to be worried, and it's a very truly simple thing. Now we just go quickly before we just finish the demo. So this is the demo. I hope that the application is running, so please allow me trying as we can means reach with the limited of the time, not take too much time of you. So you can see this is the same code, that's what we did already. So I can show you these are the same file, and then this is the same activity, and today this is we are just focusing for this. As you remember that you can see this is the same layout file, and if we just go there, this is the layout file. This is what we discussed, the text view and the edit view, one edit view and another edit view. This is the same, that's what we discussed last time. You can see from here that the ID for this one is the username, and the ID for the other one is the user pass. That's what we were referring to the code, and there is a button. So now we're just going to run the application, and once we run the application, inshallah it will come here. Before the application is going to be load, please just allow me to just go there. As you can see from here, this is your table, and we're going to this is your table. There it contains already the few records, so we're just going to delete those records and say go. So the records are gone. If you just click to the table, your database, and in your table there is no record, so it's better because we are just going to come from here, just say register, and now we are saying that the Nur Zaman is the username, and NZ is the suppose username. Nur Zaman is the nickname, NZ is actually the username, and NZ123 this is your password. Say Bismillah. So this is registration is done successfully. Now we are going for the login. So if you remember that NZ was the username, and this is the NZ123 is the password. So say look for the login. So you can see that the login information is successful. Login successful. Welcome Nur Zaman. So this is we are going to take user nickname. So now be with me. We're just trying to come up with the wrong password. So you can see with the wrong password, you will feel that you will face the message that login failed. No user data are available. So this is done. Now we just go back to the database. Just see to refresh this one. So you can see that this is the Nur Zaman, NZ and NC123 is what we just enter, and we just see this one, and we just come back here. So as I told you that in the register we did not make any changes. This is the same changes what we have done before, and in the main activity, that's what the code line by line we already discussed in the presentation. So you can see from here this is the same, and what the commits, what you notice that they are the commits that are there. So these commits are also here, login step 1 and login step 2. This is the whole completely the same code we copied and pasted here in the presentation. So in the presentation you can see it in the different colors. That's why we discussed the code there. So no need to discuss here, just to minimize the time for the video. And in the background you can see that again you can find here the login steps 12 and so on. So you can find everything here because this is the code as it is. It was copied from here and it was added to your PowerPoint presentation. I hope that you understand the concept. They are very simple and very easy. Inshallah, enjoy this and try to go ahead to receive your assignment after the class. Inshallah, we will declare the assignment. So best of luck for these all three parts, for the login activity, for accessing the data, connecting the data. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for your time. May Allah bless you. Goodbye.